On this podcast, we cover sensitive subjects such as abuse, suicide, self-harm, depression, and other difficult topics. We are not medical professionals. We suffer from our own mental health issues. Our opinions should not be taken as medical advice. Dred the Stigma is for educational purposes and awareness for mental health only.
All right. And this is, as a lot of you guys know, our off week, but we've talked with Grimm Artizt before. And we wanted to have him back on to talk about your project, as you can see in the title of the show, the Schizophrenia Revolution. You're doing the same thing we basically are here at Dred the Stigma, except we just cover wider, topics. And if you guys have not heard our last discussion, it is over on the YouTube channel, Dred the Stigma podcast, and you can check that out. But as we discussed in that particular interview, is that, let me turn the TV down. I am not completely prepared, but here we go. As we discussed there in that last discussion, in the last time you were on, we went through a lot of the struggles that you went through as a child with dealing with schizophrenia. And that's why, I think because it's affected you so much, that's probably why you just zone in on that. I know with me and borderline personality disorder, which they said, I think I mentioned the last time we talked, borderline schizophrenic was the actual diagnosis. But with schizophrenic traits, because they do overlap. But with myself and having borderline personality disorder disrupt my life so much, the past 30 some years, that I zero in on that. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to zero in on schizophrenia. You're about to drop some knowledge. You said that you've done a lot of research, and this is how we do it. We educate ourselves, and that in and of itself does so much to tear down this stigma on mental health, on specific disorders. BPD was very stigmatized. I think schizophrenia is probably one of the ones up at the top of the list, most stigmatized. And as we discussed, media and TV and all of that has pushed that thinking forward. So let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about the the Schizophrenia Revolution. This is a little movement that you're starting to educate people. Tell everybody what this is about, my friend.
Well, the Schizophrenia Revolution is something I'm doing on social media through graphic designs, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, TikTok videos, all that stuff. I'm doing graphic design effects done straight through an iPhone. I'm taking selfies of myself wearing masks, and I customize myself. Selfies of me just without the mask, and kind of like in the weird, kind of like poses.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, I'm using a Samsung Galaxy cell phone and a iPhone to pretty much transfer, the photos up back and forth using the apps from two different phones and do all kinds of editing to them. From there, using video editing apps, leaking the videos on to Facebook, TikTok, throwing in music into them, putting inspirational messages into them, spreading the word, and it's just going all. I'm doing it through social media. As of right now, I'm doing it through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm trying to get into more social media platforms to take higher. Now, this is pretty much the whole revolution thing. It's to end the stigma, provide a better life for schizophrenics, because we are judged a lot, we are outcast a lot, because schizophrenia used to be this very, very dark, horrible illness.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
And that's kind of what the stigma is based off in the past. And now the schizophrenia is highly treatable because the treatment options are improving throughout the years. Most of us are actually more stable. The hallucinations are being eliminated. The voices, the rage, all this stuff is being gone at this point. We're still struggling, but we are surviving. We're getting better and better and better. And at this moment, we are doing so good. So the stigma is based off the past, and what most people do not know, because the stigma is so strong, because people still think it used to be, because people are afraid to talk about it. No one's talking about it.
Yeah.
So no one's hearing what we are like now. So people are stuck in the past about how this illness used to be. So what it's doing is it's making it worse for us. We fought a war inside our minds for years. We're finally stable, and now we're fighting a battle for a new beginning. And the stigma is just slowing us down. It's making it harder for us. And 18 to 60% of schizophrenics struggle with depression. Suicide rate is common with schizophrenia as well. And when a schizophrenic is going to sit there and when they're having trouble getting into relationships because they're being judged, they're having trouble making friends, so they're isolating themselves. It's slowing us down. It's making it hard for us,
Yeah, it compounds even with borderline and a lot of other. Once you get in that rut, it's extremely hard for myself, which is a trait of borderline, to get out of it because I can't regulate my emotions, and that causes all kind of problems. So, getting stuck like that, it just compounds one on top of the other, one on top of the other.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's put it this way. Before the 1950s took place, schizophrenics were institutionalized. Most of them were put in there for life. In these hospitals, they were neglected, they were beaten, they were, abused. It was horrible.
Wasn't there a sterilization program, I believe, in the early 1900s in the Midwest, where they would take severely mentally ill people, and they would euthanize them. They didn't know what was going on, and I'm sure that now, if I'm wrong, any listeners, please correct me. I'm going by some old knowledge I think I had. But so if I'm wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I do remember hearing about the euthanization program where they would. And I'm sure some of those were probably suffering from what we know now as schizophrenia. They did not know that then. A lot of people thought they were possessed. And then vice versa. People who claim possession, they were said to be, it was all mental illness. So I digress. Go ahead, buddy.
So anyway, so what happened was these schizophrenics were put in these hospitals. And they were, one of the main treatments back then, they didn't have antipsychotics. Antipsychotics treated, hallucinations, delusions, rage, all that type of thing. So because they did not have antipsychotics, schizophrenia was almost uncontrollable.
Yeah.
And they locked these people up in these hospitals, psych wards, asylums. Schizophrenics were suffering. They were being, like I said, beaten, neglected. One of the main treatment options that they had for them were lobotomies and shock treatments. They put the shock treatments because they were trying to control the mind. They were trying to calm them down because that's the only way they can do it. And back then, some people think these doctors were considered evil. But some of them doctors were actually trying to help. They did not know how. They weren't educated on how to help these schizophrenics. They were trying to help them. And yeah, some of the doctors were bad, but there were the ones out there that actually gave a crap about them.
Sure.
And, so anyway, but yeah, and they also, from also what I read with schizophrenia back then in these hospitals, what they were doing, they believed that the, infections caused the mental illness with schizophrenia. So they were removing their teeth, their tonsils, their bad stuff like that, it was really bad, these environments. And you think about it, with schizophrenia, our maturity slows down because most of us, not all of us, most of us have learning disabilities because it's a brain disease. It attacks the brain, how we think, function, hear, feel. Right. So what it does is we can go into childlike forms, childlike symptoms. So and the more unstable you are, the more you can go into that mode. So picture a schizophrenic in these hospitals, in a childlike form in their heads, hearing voices, scared, terrified, beaten, neglected, dragged in rooms, shock treatments, lobotomies. It was horrible, horrible dark times for us. And we suffered so much, and yet we still fought to survive. But anyway, those were the dark times, and that's what a lot of this thing was based off of. And what happened was early 1950s, the first antipsychotic was released. It was kind of like a new hope for us at that point. It was just starting. 1960s, schizophrenics were being released from hospitals, but we were still struggling.
Wasn't it Thorazine that they were using? Wasn't that one of the first ones that they started treating?
Something like that, a lot of, yeah. And I think like the first antipsychotics that were out there were like, those are the ones that were doping them up.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's where they came up with the Thorazine shuffle. I mean, you're just walking around, don't know where you're at. Zombie state, basically, because that's the only way they knew to control and deal with what they didn't understand, basically.
So what was happening was these antipsychotics were being more developed, more improved, more. In the 1990s, they were starting to get better, or about the early 2000s, it was like a new era for us to be stable. And, and another thing, so like I said in the last interview, I think, in the rainforest, there's so many medicines, and that's where they're getting all this stuff from. So you got doctors and scientists in these rainforests every single day searching for these medications, stuff to treat them. And, of course, when they do find something, they got to get it approved, so they know it's safe. That can take a little while, of course. So usually by every year, they got new treatment options and stuff, And there's actually a movie, I think it was made like in the 90s or something like that. But anyway, about a scientist or a doctor or something like that was in the rainforest. And he actually found the cure for cancer in the rainforest. But because of what was going on, there's such a huge profit within the chemo, he was killed for it. And they never found the cure because he was killed because people wanted money. And that was a true story. I think Sean Connery played the doctor.
Okay, yeah,
That
that makes complete sense, man. I call it
so
the, you know,
that shows right there what is
yeah,
in the rainforest deep enough. That shows right there is hope for us and
sure,
is improving so much. But the stigma is just like it's so heavy on us, because we have trouble. It's like how the heck can we get into a relationship if these women or these men are going to think that person is like a violent person, when they're stable. It increases the depression mode because we feel like we can't improve. And the stigma is so heavy, that it's devastating. Yeah.
and one thing too is some people just unfortunately just don't care.
No, we don't.
They don't care enough to take in and educate themselves to understand, hey, these people are not what they are portrayed. Mental illness in a whole is, somebody who has mental illness, and I've noticed it. People will see
Yeah.
the scars on my arms, and they'll ask me, "What's that for?" And I'll tell them point blank.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'll even make a joke about it. I was a cutter before it was cool, because now it seems trendy, which is quite disgusting if you ask me. But, because it was devastating to me. But anyway, and I'll see the look on their faces and it's like, oh, okay, humans in general shy away from things they don't understand. But what they don't understand is this is extremely important. We have suicide rates among the spectrum of mental illness, in some cases more in certain disorders, schizophrenia,
Yeah.
borderline,
Exactly.
epidemic proportions.
Yeah. And another thing, it's like, put it this way, you see so many people walking around where, cancer survivor, Black Lives Matter, Gay Lives Matter. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I support it, but there's a lot of people wearing stuff like that. How often would you see someone wear a shirt that says Schizophrenics Matter? Schizophrenia Pride. How often could a schizophrenic walk up to somebody, shake their hand, and say, "Hi, I'm a schizophrenic"? No,
Mm-hmm.
because we're judged. That's
Yeah.
why we can't feel accepted. And that's another thing. And that's what I wanted to bring up here. I've been wanting to discuss. Hopefully, I'm getting this new tattoo coming up. And it's going to reflect off the revolution. It's going to reflect off who I am and what I want to do. I am literally, and this is what I'm showing schizophrenics that it's okay to have this illness. And it hopefully can make a difference if people see me want to wear it around.
Mm-hmm.
So I am getting Schizophrenia Pride right here, tattooed on me. I got a tattoo artist already set up for this. Cost me about $150 to get it done. The guy that is going to tattoo me is actually a bipolar schizophrenic himself.
Wow.
Yeah, he interesting past. Of course, I don't release names for personal reasons.
Yeah.
He is a very, very good person. Very, very gifted tattoo artist. Very talented because, within schizophrenics, bipolar, schizoaffective people, we are very talented because of the mania, good ideas, creativity pop into our minds like, insane. Anyway, this guy is, big guy. He has like Norwegian in him. Dude is tatted up. I'm talking the arm, head, neck. Interesting past I will not go into because personal reasons. But I used to work with the guy. I got to know him on a personal level. He wants to tattoo me. He's gonna charge me for it and stuff because he needs money for his personal use and stuff like that for stuff.
Sure.
So it's gonna be epic. I'll be getting the tattoos on Schizophrenia Pride by a schizophrenic himself with the same diagnosis of what I have, which is bipolar schizoaffective. So I got that coming up too.
That's awesome. Yeah. I don't I got, I love t-shirts that advertise things.
Oh yeah.
And it's great, that and tattoos, t-shirts are not as permanent if that's not your thing, but and it does. I got sweatshirts, I got t-shirts, you know, about mental health, and
Yeah.
it sparks conversation.
Oh yeah,
And
it is.
a lot of people are a little taken back when I tell them all the things that's wrong with me. And it's because of the advancement with medications, as you were alluding to earlier. Sticking an ice pick through the corner of your eye to disrupt part of your prefrontal lobe or whatever it is. I don't know all them technical terms, which is basically what they were doing,
Yeah.
turning them into zombies, as well as the electroshock therapy was just frying their brains, thinking, you know. But yeah, people don't even realize that, you know, I'm that guy in the group, you know, that has struggled beyond belief. I'm that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, people
Exactly.
tend to, you know, after they talk to me, they're like, "Hey, well, I mean, you would never know." Exactly. That's the point. So take all those stupid, you know, thoughts that, you know, the media told you about mental illness, and for this show's purposes, you know, schizophrenia. And half the time you're probably passed or talked to schizophrenics and not even know it. So why the stigma, you know?
It's bad. It's just yeah, and it's like so I got all these ideas popping up for this revolution, dude. I mean, it's like I'm getting like right now, money's like low with my
Sure.
job because it's just well, it's because business is
Mm,
down. It's summer. I'm in a college town. College, so summer. We have a summertime. College classes are like in, and that's where all the business comes in.
mm.
But colleges just opened up, dude. It's like some more money, more hours, more. So I'll be making more money soon. Right now, money's extremely tight. I'm working at Subway, dude. I don't make a lot of money, and I'm
Right.
surviving on my own apartment, paying for my own groceries, my phone bill, my cat, everything. So I have to balance everything out perfectly.
Yeah.
And but yeah. Anyway, so I got this money. I'm getting more money coming in soon for more hours because I transfer. I go from two different stores.
Oh, okay.
One store pays higher than the other. So I'm going back and forth like that, between Seasonville, Glen Rose, back and forth. I'm making more money.
Oh, yeah. There you
Well,
go.
right now I'm working at one store, but the business is going to be picking up the one up here. So I'm going to come back to this store. Now I'm going back and forth again, and I'm going to be making more money. And what I'm going to be doing is, I got because I got the iPhone here. I'm going to be paying for some apps, graphic design apps, better effects, better videos to get more attention. Another thing, what I want to do, I don't know if I can do it or not, but I want to get start a clothing line for like merchandise shop. I already did the graphic designs. All I gotta do is just upload them
Yeah.
onto the website, put on my shirts, sell it. All I gotta do. I gotta pay for the good websites to do it through. So there's that coming up. I got some more ideas popping through my mind like crazy because mania, creativity ideas, stuff like that. But so I got that going on. And but yeah, I'm working on trying to find trying to get into Twitter, more social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you got I don't know, like for example, Skillet, the Christian rock group, that does a lot of inspirational, motivational, really just epic, good music that I use a lot for my videos. Grasps a lot of attention, which is what I used for the video before this interview started. If anybody saw it here.
Mm-hmm.
They got a new album coming out that I'm using for my videos, more really good music actually. That is coming out hopefully November 1st, called Revolution, which is pretty insane because I got
Yeah,
this is called a Schizophrenia Revolution. Skillet, a band that has got me views in the past like crazy for these videos, is coming out with a new album called Revolution. And Skillet, they were originally with the label that kind of like had control their choice in music, what they had to do. They are now
yeah.
considered independent. They can do whatever the heck they want.
Right.
And they pay attention to what the fans want. So they got this new epic album come out. They're saying it's supposed to be insane. So I'm using that for really good to get more viewers, more So I'm trying to improve. When it comes to artwork and stuff, I improve pretty fast. I pick up on things pretty quick. And also another thing, when I get more money coming in, I'm getting back into mass customizing again, photography, more designs, everything and stuff.
That's awesome.
So as soon as more money starts coming in, these designs are going to get a lot better.
Yeah, and I know with myself, I'm a very impatient person, so when I get an idea, I want to get it done right then and
Yeah.
there. And a lot of times, money does not allow, but I've learned that the more time you take and the more patient you
Yeah.
are, the better the end product will be. So, you know, all you can do now is really, plug away at what you got going on. Of course, you got the Dred the Stigma Facebook group that you're more than welcome to take and plug over there.
Yeah.
And that I'm glad that you brought up that creativity, because I want to drive home again what we talked about in the last time we spoke,
Yeah.
and that would be the positives and how it can help others. You can start, you can go in the business for yourself. You got a lot of artistic talent, and that could progress to whatever. And then if it was a business, now you're bringing in clientele who would know that I mean, you could do good business as a
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
schizophrenic. And it's just, I can't believe in this day and age that the stigma is still as strong. And maybe that's because we don't have open discussions like we're
People
having.
are afraid to talk about it. That's why.
Yeah.
It's a discussion left in the shadows, and it's
Yeah.
staying there. Nothing
Mhm.
is getting done. And that's
That
why
was
I'm
my
doing
mom's
that.
generation. She did that when I started having issues.
Yeah.
Okay. It was kind of shameful to let your other grown up friends know that you had a child that was, suffering, that was depressed, that was cutting. Because to them, I guess it was a reflection of them, and shove it
Yeah.
under the rug.
And another thing is, like, dude, I'm like, look, I know it's deeper kind of get into this Schizophrenia Revolution thing. It's like, I got certain people that are kind of like judging me for a little bit because the stigma's so strong because I'm talking about it so much. And it's like, dude, first of all, there's nothing wrong with talking about schizophrenia, dude. It's nothing, it's like, first of all, if you're focusing on on all the negative shit about it, dude, then yeah, then it's considered a bad thing. But what I am doing here, I am focusing on the lightness of this stuff. That stuff is uplifting me. That's what I'm doing. Some people have already told me that I am obsessed. Some people are saying, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't. I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing.
No.
It's just, it's a discussion left in the shadows, and it's staying in the shadows. People need to talk about it more. People need
Yeah.
to be more accepted with it. I mean, if you think about it, what do you think is good for a schizophrenic's mental health? Okay, no stress. Stress has actually toned down our symptoms. Some and certain schizophrenics have been known to be good with just being completely stress free and not even on medication because they're powering their minds. I'm not saying that schizophrenics don't need medication. I'm not telling schizophrenics to take medication. I'm just saying it's a proven fact there are certain schizophrenics out there that have been known to be stable because they're so just not stressed the heck out.
Mm.
And when a schizophrenic is being judged, their skin feels like I can't make friends. What they're doing is they're increasing the stress. The stress is increasing the symptoms. A happy schizophrenic is a stable schizophrenic. By ending the stigma, you are literally toning down their symptoms tremendously and making them happy. And what more does somebody deserve to be happy, even especially when they're struggling with something like that?
Yeah.
People deserve to be happy in life, and
Yeah.
that's what's going on, you know. But yeah,
Yeah. It's really, it's really, I can't wrap my head around people. I've had people take, as you said, people tell you, you shouldn't be talking about this, shouldn't be talking about
yeah,
this. I've been sober for, I put the bottle down about a year and a half ago, and it was a struggle for me. So is my mental health. So my sobriety and my mental health, yeah, call it an obsession. I'll take that with fucking pride. I've had people, just kind of downplay me always, posting things about sobriety. I don't give a shit. I will scream it from the top of the rooftops because it's something I'm proud of. And what you're doing, okay, is you've got your life stable. Now you want to
yeah,
try and help out other people. You're
exactly.
working, you got your own place. You're doing what most people don't think schizophrenics can do. The
Yeah,
name alone, they just go by the name, they don't educate themselves. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here today. That's why we cover other topics. We're just talking about psychiatric hospitals and all the different
yeah,
methods that you had mentioned. So that's why we're doing this, because maybe we have our life okay right now. I'm starting with a new therapist tomorrow. My meds have been, it's
yeah,
got me in a good place, and now I want to give back. I want to show people that it can be done, and that's
yeah.
exactly what you're doing.
Exactly, and it's just this is a cause that I care about because
Exactly.
it's a big one, and that most people don't show interest in. More people need to show interest in this.
And then 9 times out of 10, they won't until it hits their front door, until somebody in their family close to them is affected by whatever
Yeah,
mental disorder, whether it be schizophrenia or not. And then they'll take an interest in it. But until then, it's like, nah, not in my backyard.
oh yeah, it's just films and music are betraying this illness so much, and it's sad. And the thing is, what I want to say right here, right now, if anybody is watching this interview, what I want you to do right now, share this out as much as possible. If you're watching this, if you like what's going on, if you like what we're talking about here, just share it out, man, and let's get this out there because this has to start now. This has to this stigma, it has to end because it is not doing good. It's actually getting, it's just not improving because no one's talking about it, you know. And by sharing this video out, is that what you're doing is you are joining the revolution. You are joining an army to make a difference. You're being a soldier on the battlefield of schizophrenia, even though you're not even a schizophrenic, because you're actually caring about it. And that is what matters, and that's what is a good cause, and that what makes you a human being and a good person. That's what we need to do right here, right now.
No, I,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And getting those afflicted with in your project, mainly schizophrenia, bringing schizophrenics together in a safe construct of social
Oh
media
yeah. Yeah.
to where they feel they can openly talk. That is such a huge step forward. I've seen in the Dred the Stigma group, people I don't know opening up about their things. I've chatted with people, through DMs and things of that nature. And it's really proven, people, like that there is open discussion. Because most people just try to hide it and stuff it down because they don't want people to see. I did that in the very beginning with all the scars on my wrist, which is why I got all these tattoos to cover
Yeah.
most of them up,
Yeah.
and plus it would divert me. I don't want to cut on, my tattoos. So it was also, for that reason. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But
One conversation at a time. It helps. One discussion
Yeah,
at a time.
exactly, exactly. And I want to say something here. You
Yeah.
know, so I was discussing with a friend of mine on Facebook a few nights back. Now she's also schizophrenic. She's always, and I keep in touch with her through. She's in the Netherlands, I believe.
Hmm.
She's a very, very good person, actually, and she's actually comfortable with me like announcing her name on this interview because we already talked. I talked about it with her about it.
Right.
Um, Hold on, let me pull up my Facebook real quick and get her name out because she's foreign, so it's like I can't remember the name.
Right. Right.
But she's like I said, she's in the Netherlands. Schizophrenic, very, very just good uh, person, actually. Let's see, got her on Messenger. See if I can get her name out here.
And little by little, man, getting more and more people just openly talking about it. Somebody could come
Yeah,
across a particular show and be afflicted with a certain mental illness and be like, wow, these people are just like me. And next thing you know, they feel comfortable going and hearing what you're saying because they know they're not going to be judged. They enjoy going to these groups where they know they're not going to be judged, where they can openly talk about their struggles, the battles they've won, and things of that nature. So, we need more discussion. People just don't think there's so many things going on in the world. People don't think that mental health is a big issue, and that's why we have some suicide numbers of epidemic levels. Man, it's horrible. So this is as important, if not more, than anything else. You get her name?
yep, right here. So
Mm-hmm.
Manash Van Dyke. Manash Van Dyke, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a very, very good person. Schizophrenic. This girl literally was in psychosis for 4 years,
Wow.
then hospitalized after that. But anyway, I remember, dude, like when I first started talking to her on social media, dude, I was trying to find before I moved into this place because I was trying to find a place to live, staying with a friend temporarily, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this is about, I don't know, like about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I guess her time is about 3 or 4 o'clock because she's in another part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she was going into psychosis. I mean, she was about to go back into that shit, back into the darkness, back into the. And she did not know who to talk to. It was the middle of the night. She's freaking the heck out. She's nobody to talk to. She reached out to me. I immediately was texting her, coaching her. I was able to actually calm her down by texting, and she went into a happy place. She said I saved her, all kinds of stuff, from that night, from that dark night that she was going through. And I'm like, I didn't know how much I helped her until one of my friends that also knew her mentioned that was talking to her said, "Mitch, you freaking helped her," and because she had nobody. This girl's about to go back into psychosis again and all this bad stuff. I mean, and she's a dear, dear, dear good friend of mine that I talk to all the time. I share like uplifting music with her to uplift her mood, all this stuff. She gets medication. She all that stuff, But yeah, it was like insane what she was going through. And most people don't understand what schizophrenics go through unless you're inside our head, which you actually live with what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad, And what she was going through was really horrible. But she's doing really good in life now. She's still going through some minor stuff, but she's doing good. And anyway, she did a post on social media that I helped her, all this stuff. I still continue to help on a regular basis, send music to her because she likes music. She likes to, listen to music to help her relax
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah, she's a good person.
That's awesome. I know I've been in some, and it always seems to be when I am down in a dark place that a friend is also in a dark place, and I feel as if, okay, I want to help them. They don't know I'm in a dark place, but helping them kind of lifts me up too. When I see them
I
feeling
agree.
better, I feel the same way, and I'm almost positive that's exactly what happened. Maybe you weren't in a dark place, but I think that brings such a gratifying feeling that you can lift someone up,
Yeah.
and a lot of times you're probably lifting people up that you don't even know that you're doing. I've had people message me and thank me for, just having the group and whatnot, and that this certain post helped them. And
Yeah.
it is,
Exactly.
it is
Exactly. I agree.
very, yeah.
Well, that's another thing. It's like, I guess that's another main reason why I'm doing this, because it's good for my mental health too. It's like
Absolutely. It's very
when I'm sitting
therapeutic.
there, exactly. When I'm sitting there, I just do a video, a really good video. I got people writing me saying, I got people on TikTok saying, "Thank you for this. This
Hmm.
helped me. This,
Yeah.
And I talk to other schizophrenics on social media. I talk to more of them, dude. I'm friends with a lot. I
Hmm.
mean, before we were sitting here doing our thing, dude, I was just talking to another girl that's she's schizoaffective. You know, there's other people on my Facebook page that have bipolar schizoaffective, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, stuff like that. And I'm friends with them. I coach them. I give them advice. I get them, all that stuff.
And that's all you can do. And if people just realize that that's all a lot of people need, whether you're schizophrenic, whether you're
Yeah,
borderline, whatever. Sometimes you just need somebody,
a friend. Yeah,
yeah, just to sit and listen. Don't there are certain ways I've noticed with certain mental illness that you want to approach that. Certain things will set a borderline off. And even when you have all good intentions, you don't mean to. And I meant to ask you this: is that the same thing with somebody with schizophrenia? Does the person trying to calm you down, if they're not schizophrenic and don't understand, do you find it that they kind of have to watch what they say,
yeah,
because you don't want to escalate, because it's
yeah.
very much like that with borderlines.
Yeah, it can be hard. You have to, like I said, the best way, if you're a schizophrenic and you got a schizophrenic friend, you understand the mindset, especially if you got a stable schizophrenic trying to help an unstable schizophrenic.
Yeah,
Then that stable schizophrenic can do so much for that, unstable
absolutely.
schizophrenic. And that's like the most thing. If you got a schizophrenic that is just going through some stuff, the best thing you can do, prevent from them for going into a worse case.
Yeah,
You pay attention to their emotions, how their day starts, how it's building up, all that stuff. What you can do to calm them down, because once they reach a certain edge, it can literally be almost impossible.
mm,
You know, and it's like what triggered the schizophrenic most is pretty much stress. Like I said, stress,
yeah,
which can be caused by being overwhelmed, overworked, or not relaxing, not doing fun things, not doing, yeah. So the best thing you can do is to catch them before they go into a bad place. You pay attention to what they're feeling. Like let's say if you see them get a little anxious, a little overwhelmed, what you do is you automatically you can switch to the hobby. You can like cook them dinner. You could be their friend, do fun things. And what you're doing is you're preventing them from possibly going into psychosis. And you are
yeah.
literally saving their lives and their minds.
Hmm.
You got to prevent it from going into worst cases. You just got to be their friend. And they tell you, like, if a schizophrenic is unstable, don't sit there and tell them about medication. You do not say the word about medication. It's a trigger for them.
Hmm.
They don't need that. If a schizophrenic is extremely unstable, the best thing you can do, you be their friend. You be for them through the hard times. You be nice to them. You help them with all kinds of stuff, but you do not force the medication. You force a medication on a schizophrenic, it fails every single time. It makes it worse. It does not help. And the thing is, if people are watching this here, if you want to see a good movie about schizophrenia, an inspirational film, The Soloist, Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx played a African American paranoid schizophrenic in the streets. This is based on a true story. Robert Downey Jr. was a reporter in the LA Times. This took place in LA, where the homeless was at. And anyway, so Robert Downey Jr. one day is in the streets. He's on his phone or something like that. He comes across Jamie Foxx playing the violin. Jamie Foxx is playing the violin with only two, I think like 3 strings or something like that. Beautifully. He got to know this guy. He was his friend. Jamie Foxx was not on medication. He was suffering from symptoms, homeless in the streets, trying to be happy, playing the violin for a coping skill. Loved music, huge passion for it. He was very gifted. I guess the character Robert Downey Jr. just wanted to help this guy so much. He was trying to help him with medication. In the end, he just learned he has to be this guy's friend.
Yeah.
And to this day, that actual schizophrenic is not on medication. He's learning different types of music, different instruments, going to like orchestras, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you have something so simple. You don't, and with borderline, the big thing to not cause a trigger is to validate what I'm feeling. A lot of people with borderline in particular, a lot of people will, say, well, don't act like that. No, this isn't how it is. No, in my head, this is exactly how it is. Whether it is untrue or not, it's so don't validate falsehoods, and because maybe what the other person is probably the same way with schizophrenia. Maybe the other person, maybe what they're feeling isn't true, but the fact that they're feeling this emotion is very true, even if it's to a made up situation, something that's not actually taking place. To validate my feelings will bring me down so quick. The minute you start telling me, well, that's not how you feel, I lose it. I absolutely lose it. I spiral.
Well, here's, I guess, a lot of people do not know about schizophrenia like at all. And this is actually I think it's based in like more recent research studies. A schizophrenic can actually take a hallucination and delusions and stuff, switch it around, turn it into something positive to make them more stable.
Interesting.
By overpowering the mind. That's how what our minds are like. And it's like another thing that people don't know, that schizophrenics are usually highly, highly caring for people. They care a lot, and that's what makes us really good people. We have empathy, big time. Yeah. And what some of the stuff that does cause that is the learning disability part. Maturity goes down, we show childlike behavior, which means we get emotional. And like when you get emotional like that, you're showing empathy because you're caring, you're loving, you just want to help people so much.
Yeah.
And that's what the empathy can come from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another good thing about us. We are caring, we are creative, our minds are extremely complex, but our minds are remarkable in so many ways because what we can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
That most people do not know.
No, I did not know. I mean, I understand the how powerful your mind is and whatnot, but I did not know that specifically about schizophrenia. That you see, myself, I can talk myself down. I can use that inner voice that tells me you're a piece of shit,
Yeah.
This is never going to work. You know, that self-doubting, that
Right.
intrusive, self-talk. I can talk myself down from that, which is a huge step from where I was 2 years ago. But now I have a little more. So I can do in that aspect, but to take a delusion or an hallucination, like you said, and completely transform that into something positive to bring either your stress level or just going further.
It's pretty crazy what you can do with your mind. I mean, it's just
No, it really is.
it's
So
insane. It is so insane what it feels like when you're in a delusion, when you're a schizophrenic, dude. It's just insane what it feels. The feeling of it, it's like it's hard to explain, I guess. I guess like when you're schizophrenic, you're in a delusion. It's like you're kind of like it's like you're lost and stuff. Your mind is technically a blur. It's like your brain is just kind of like caving in, and it's like fuzziness is surrounding your mind, and then you're like don't know what's real, and it's like you're lost, and you can like so it's like you're not, it's weird because like you're not scared. Certain delusions, you're not scared, you're not paranoid, you're lost, and it's bad.
yeah, here's something funny, but I think mine is more of like maybe just a disassociation type deal. I run, stand up forklifts, RCs is what they're called, and whatnot at work. And I'll be driving and my head will stop paying attention to what I'm doing and focus on is this real? This is, like I'm questioning my own reality.
Oh
Uh
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
And,
it feels almost like I'm disassociating, like I'm not even this person, kind of. I don't know. It's just, it was super strange. It was happening last week.
oh yeah. Well, the thing is, I know with bipolar, also with people, also some people, most people don't know is with bipolar disorder, we can actually show schizophrenia symptoms.
Yeah.
Or bipolar people can hallucinate. They can have
Hmm.
delusions, depending
Hmm.
on how severe the bipolar is. Yeah,
Yeah. It's the same thing with borderline.
yeah,
Borderline can have auditory and visual hallucinations at
yeah,
severe cases. I think I
yeah.
mentioned the last time we talked, I was having some auditory hallucinations. I was in a bathroom. I heard my son talking, and they were out in the living room,
Yeah.
but my son wasn't there, and my wife, I don't think she was in the living room. I think she was in the bedroom. But I was hearing my son talking, but he wasn't even there. I think he
Yeah,
was at work or something. And it's like, man, am I hearing shit? I mean, I know for a fact I heard this person talking.
it's
And
crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
not.
well, for example, I'm like, you know, like I said, remember I told you they got me off that medication. The last interview we were in,
Mhm.
I went through that medication adjustment like last year and stuff for my schizophrenia because my white blood cell count was dropping. They got me off, and I went through my
Right.
inter- They got me on this. I went through like 3 medications 1 month. I went through all kinds of bad things. They got me on a certain medication. That medication that they put me on was working. It was not all my symptoms were control. My sleeping disorder was a little messed up. I was breaking out, acne. They got me off that. I'm on this new medication, Gdon. That's working pretty good. Acne's clearing up. All this stuff. It's pretty good. It gives you a boost of energy and stuff like that. Causes causes weight loss. So like kind of losing
You're a
weight.
skinny guy like me, man. We can't afford any weight loss. We need those
Yeah,
medications that bring on weight gain.
yeah. I'm 6 foot, naturally skinny. Yeah. But
Me too.
yeah, anyway, so my sleeping schedule right now, dude, it's like I was it's so weird how I sleep at night. Some nights it's like comfortable. It's sometimes like semi-comfortable. I sleep pretty good. Other nights it's not. I
Mhm.
don't have the night terrors no more, but it's like I'll lay there and it's like my body feels so weird. And I won't go into a deep sleep. I'll squirm around a little bit. And then it's like there's times where I wake up in the morning and my body's like kind of like, you know, moving around, my weird stuff like that kind of goes on. And
Mhm.
it's like it's weird. It's a sleeping disorder is what it is, man. Like the other morning, dude, it's like I'm laying there and like I'm about to wake up, like kind of like half asleep a little bit. And I swear to God, dude, something whispered in my ear. It's like someone said my name, but it's like a deep voice. And I woke up. I was breathing heavy, scared. I mean, I knew it wasn't real, but it scared the crap out of me. So if
Yeah.
you're sleeping, you hear something like that, and it's just, I don't know, dude. It's just like I got a sleep disorder. It's common with schizophrenics
Mm.
because when you dream and when you sleep, it has to do with the brain. And it's just, I don't, I don't know, man. I'm trying to get my sleeping back on track. You know, I'm sleeping, but it's just not comfortable.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
I'm the same way. And sleep, getting enough sleep is so beneficial to, when you have a mental illness.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely. It lowers stress. It lowers, yeah.
Absolutely. And I got chronic pain on top of mine, so that disrupts my sleeping all night. Just here recently, I got put on anxiety medication. My panic attacks and anxiety attacks are happening a little more frequently, but and that helps me go to sleep. I don't squirm as much. I fall asleep. I don't wake up as much, or at least that I notice. How
Yeah.
well I'm sleeping, I don't know. But I don't wake up as tired. And that improves your mental health, your stress levels, just overall clarity. You just feel better. Eating right, which is something, once I get out of this stressful situation, I am supposed to close on a house. Once I get situated with that, that's another one of my goals. I want to eat a little healthier. I'm not a poster boy for health, and I
Yeah.
know that that's going to help overall mental health, as well.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
sleep and good eating habits. Yeah.
Yeah. I got really, really good health, man. My physical health is so good because like I said in the last interview, my dad's side, they've been known to live to their hundreds.
Mm,
My grandpa on my mom's side was about an 86-year-old man going hiking, camping, lifting weights, and all that stuff, dude. So I got that gene,
yeah. Good.
and oh yeah, and so my health is really good. That's why I'm 32, dude. I could pass as a 24-year-old.
I would have never guessed you were 32. I don't think I knew how old you were. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm 32, man. I don't really age that much. I never really have.
I'm 52, looking like I'm 72. But that's all right. As we get around this hour mark, I want you to again kind of sum up our talk here. Give a little message of hope, as we like to do here.
Yeah, thing is, you got to realize, it's like with schizophrenics, we just there's times where it gets dark. There's times where things get hard. It gets rough. It gets, but we just got to remember we got to keep moving forward. It's like things will always get better. Like I said in the last interview, and which is actually this is actually very popular with all my posts. You gotta follow the light. You gotta follow the positivity. The positivity is what gives you the strength. The positivity is what lowers your stress. The positivity is what lowers your symptoms. You cannot survive schizophrenia without the positivity. Okay, the light is the good things going around you, the small things that are going around you. That's what the light represents. It doesn't technically have to be a religious thing. It's the positivity that keeps us going in life. And that's what schizophrenics have to keep in their hearts. Because, we can't survive without the light. We can't survive without the positivity. So as things go dark, we find a way out to survive. And schizophrenics are strong beyond reason.
Oh, absolutely.
We do so much things with our minds. Because like I said before, like you literally take a hallucination and a delusion, turning it to more of a stable thing to cope with. If you're a schizophrenic and you can do something like that, think about what else you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something like that, you can literally do things that other people can. And that is what makes us unique. That's what makes us different. And if we're that unique and different and that strong, there's a hope for us. And that is a message of hope. Right there.
There you go. Bravo. I think no, exactly, man. I have really, nothing to add other than don't be afraid. If you're schizophrenic, come and join us at the Dred the Stigma group. Go and reach out to Grimm Artizt here. Reach out to him. Join in an open discussion like we had here. Because you never know who this may reach and how much help it could bring and positivity that it could bring. We have a mental illness. We are not our mental illness. There is a difference, and we can battle that head on with the positivity that you represent as the light. Take it however you want, whether you want to throw a religious overtone or whatever. Whatever makes you happy, whatever brings that joy, because you will. And Grimm, you have made it abundantly clear: schizophrenics are not alone. None of us are alone. Don't be afraid. Reach out. Now, again, real quick, tell us where people can find you, the handle that you're using for your social media.
Well, you can get me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, of course. Of course, I got different names for stuff like that. Under Facebook, it's under Mitch Radel, which is my actual name.
Okay.
Then you got for the Instagram, I believe it is Schizophrenia Revolutions. YouTube, it's Schizophrenia Revolution.
Okay.
And TikTok is under Grimm Artizt as well. Just like you see on here on my screen, except the G's capital. That's my TikTok channel.
Okay. Awesome. And hey, no matter how slow it takes to bring us all together, not stopping. This isn't a popularity contest, man. We're using the tools that we have, like the internet, like the cell phones, to bring us together. And hopefully educate those who are not dealing with these mental health issues, because it's just as important. It's more important, I think. Yeah, we need to understand what we've been diagnosed with, but we need those that are close to us that are not going through this to understand. And then you can better help, and you can, talk to us that without triggering us, which, then your own family and friends are like, see, you can't even talk to him. He just, when if you understood what we were going through, you realize that is very common coin. And it's hard for people to, live with really anybody with a mental illness, and harder for most diagnosis. But as I mentioned on the last show, we're definitely going to have you on when we start diving into specific mental
Yeah,
disorders
of course, I love that.
on the actual podcast, because I haven't met anyone that's gone through what you went through,
Yeah.
and you do have such a positive message of hope. So I would definitely keep informed. I want to thank those who joined in, watching live, and I want to thank you guys for watching after it's live. It is going to be on the YouTube channel, Dred the Stigma. And with that, oh, well, you can hop on over there to our group, Dred the Stigma Facebook group. With that, we are going to bid you a farewell. We will be back with our regular podcast, myself and Lydia, next Sunday. I hope this helped, and we will see you very soon.